Be sure and tell them Large Mars sent ya.
In the 90s, we were just teeny tykes. We went to movies and our bikes. We wanted to be DJs, but we were just teeny gals. So we went off to college and we remained best pals. 20 years later, we're still watching flicks and we're bringing you the feeling bit by bit. Sweetie and Sweetie are here to say it's the Large March Santa's podcast. Hey.
Is Spike mistaken? Aren't you a girl?
Gee, good eye.
Spike don't play with girls.
She's pretty good, Spike.
Spike don't care. Didn't you hear? Spike don't play with... Look, you berserko Barbie doll. When you mess with Spike, you mess with death.
You can talk the talk, but can you walk the walk?
Try me.
I will.
Let's go.
Right now.
Spike's in hell. Spike's in pee-wee hell.
Hey guys, and welcome to the Large Marge Sent Us podcast, your favorite podcast where two sweetie sisters talk about their favorite childhood flicks. I'm Sweetie.
And I'm Sweetie.
And tonight is, I guess, the Super Bowl, but we don't care. We don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's really impressive too because we're from New England. We live in Massachusetts, for people who don't know. And I mentioned to Sweetie earlier today how exciting it is for me to be the one person in the state not watching the Super Bowl.
I think you mean the second person. I'm the other one.
Right.
So
I feel really good about it. I feel like kind of awesome.
Good. Welcome to my
I feel
world.
like I could rob a bank or something.
What?
Wait,
Because everyone's busy? Oh.
I was like, what? Because everyone's busy.
Yeah, I get it. That's funny. Yeah, I just don't care about any sports, really. Really don't care about a dang one. Don't care. So instead of doing that, we have decided to eat nachos, drink alcohol, and watch The Little Giants. Just kidding. I do enjoy sports movies, I guess. I mean, I haven't seen a ton, but the ones that I have,
Same.
I enjoy, and I always get like super emotional at the end.
Yeah.
So
It's
whatever.
gotta be the underdog movies that really get you.
Yep.
You know, and
Gotta
this is a kid underdog.
A true underdog. Yep. Yeah. And it combines. I think this movie speaks to me because it's like you don't have to like football to enjoy it,
Right.
because most of the part of the movie is that these kids don't really understand football and just want to have fun and play. So I think that's why it speaks to me as someone who does not like football or understand it.
Right, and there's a good like brother rivalry side story, a little bit of sexism side story. Maybe that's all the side stories.
A little romance story.
little childhood romance.
Funny, it's sweet, it's endearing. There's a lot of good points to it.
Yeah, so great movie. It was really happy we watched it. Put me in a good mood, let's say, after a Sunday.
Me too. I just
Sundays
felt
are always
like-
so sad because you're like, oh, God, I got to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, Sundays
I felt like on top of the world. I was like, I can do anything because I'm a little giant. Do I sound like Lady Gaga? Thank you. Yeah, so let's get into it.
It's the bonus Super Bowl special edition Sweetie Synopsis. Yeah.
Sweeties. Kevin and Danny O'Shea are brothers who have grown up in Urbana. Oh, I'm going to say Ohio. I think it's in Ohio. I don't know why I think that. Oh, because when the football team got lost, they're like, you have to go to Canton. Okay, yeah. Okay. All right, so when they were little, Kevin and Danny were brothers, and Kevin was the good, like, at sports brother, and Danny was the nerdy one. Kevin grows up to be a famous football player, and Danny's just kind of his younger brother stuck in Urbana has a little gas station. Kevin has a car dealership and is now the coach of the Pee Wee Football League. So there are tryouts to join this Pee Wee Football League, and who's the star player? Or who's like the one that stands out at the tryout, Sweetie?
Becky the ICEBOX O'Shea.
Yeah.
So what's his name? Rick Moranis's. I forgot.
Danny.
Danny's daughter. He's a single dad at this point. And the other brother's obviously niece, and she's awesome. She's pretty much the best person who tries out. So they do a thing, you know, okay, everyone, thanks for trying out. Like, here's who made the team. They have this, like, these boxes with all the nice helmets. They have really beautiful uniforms. They're the Cowboys, so, like, you know, they're the Cowboys uniforms. And they start calling all the names. All the kids get excited. And then there's, like, 3 kids who they don't call their name, including Becky. And she's the best player on the team, and they won't let her play because I guess she's a girl.
Dumb as fuck. So yeah, Becky's real sad. Her dad's pissed because she's the best, and he's like, "Why didn't you pick her?" And Kevin's
they were
like,
related.
Yeah,
I mean
Kevin's
that is the lowest blow.
Hate to break it to you, she's a girl. Like, what the fuck? So Danny and Becky decide to form their own little football league, which is comprised mostly of misfits. So you got Rad Tad.
I was going to call them a ragtag team.
Oh,
but you just said rad tad, and I thought you said ragtag, and I was like, whoa.
No, because Rad, that's his nickname.
No.
Tad's
Yes,
nickname.
yes.
So Tad, he's like the little sweet one. Voldemort, the fat one.
Yeah.
Who farts and burps a lot.
Yeah, no.
And then they like recruit a bunch of other misfit kids, including Devon Sawa, who I think is new to the town and has just moved because that's why he wasn't at tryouts, right?
Right.
Because he would have, yeah. Right. So Devon Sawa is like a star quarterback, right? Is he the quarterback? I don't know.
Yes.
Are they the ones that throw the ball?
Someone else doesn't know football either.
What does Becky play?
Becky is like a tackler, whatever that is.
Oh, good. Okay.
She's
ICEBOX. We're awesome. Get used to it. So they form a team. They're not doing so great, playing, but they're having fun, and that's all that matters. So the big game is coming up, and the Cowboys, Kevin's Cowboys, have Spike, who is like this terrifying, gross...
Also new to town,
who Danny briefly tries to get on his team, but then they find out that that's the misfit team and needs to be on the Cowboys. But he's like a terrifying sociopath, like giant kid. They're supposed to be 11, but he's clearly like 16.
Maybe he was like middle school, though. Maybe it was like...
Yeah.
He's
like one
sloth of
middle
ages.
tooth. He's very upsetting.
Middle tooth.
So, I mean, it's safe to say they're probably creamed. Meanwhile, Becky is developing a huge crush on Junior, played by Devon Sawa, and it's complicating things.
Right. She's, suddenly feeling a little bit hormonal. Suddenly,
She's got the urge.
Yeah. I mean, much as I discussed in our Casper episode, my sexual awakening courtesy of Devon Sawa, Becky also had her sexual awakening by Devon Sawa.
Oh my God.
Sisters in love.
He's awoken a lot of people's sexual.
Seriously. So she's like, crap, like, I really like this kid, but, like, does he like me? And they're, like, super chummy on the team. They're definitely flirting and stuff, but he also flirts with, like, pretty cheerleader girls. So she's, like, kind of down about herself, like, has a little bit of low self-esteem just because she's confused, like, should I wear makeup and try to be prettier? Will boys like me more if I do that? Blah, blah, blah. So she's, like, a panic the day before the big game and is like, shoot, he's never going to like me just as a teammate. And she's getting, like, kind of bad advice from her uncle who's kind of, like, getting in her head, being like, yeah, if, like, you like boys, you should, like, be what they like, which is, like, the worst fucking advice I've ever heard in my whole life.
You should be a cheerleader.
Yes. So the day before the game, she decides she wants to be a cheerleader and not play, abandons the team, and is just on the sidelines in a cheerleader uniform.
Well, we know how you feel about the situation. You're like, fucking bitch, abandons the fucking team.
She comes around.
Yeah. So the team's crush that Becky's not playing kind of like hurts their spirits. They don't do well in the first half at all. They get creamed. It's like 21-0. Second half, they get a nice pep talk from Danny, and then things are looking up. I think they score a touchdown. It's very exciting. But then Spike's dad, who's like a Nazi, pretty sure he's a neo-Nazi, right?
Yeah. Just from the flat top haircut.
Yes. Tells Spike to take Junior out of the game. So after the play's over, he runs and like hurts his Junior's back. Like, I don't know, tackles him in a weird way. He's unprepared. It like hurts. It like fucks up his back. So Junior can't play. Becky is pissed, throws her pom-poms down, like walks into the locker room, puts on her uniform, and comes back out. She's joining the game again, guys. She's back on the team. So the whole last part of the movie is them coming together and winning it. Basically, they like score another couple touchdowns.
They use some creative methods.
Yeah, creative methods, like hiding the ball, like pretending someone else has the ball, kind of thing. And they end up fucking winning. You guys,
Yeah,
they win. It's a great moment. Danny is an honorable man and is like, your team can join ours. Don't worry, because he's nice and not a Nazi. Right. So everyone's just a fucking Nazi. The Cowboys are Nazis. So, and that's the end. And then Kevin and Danny kind of reunite and get their name on the water tower like they said they would at the beginning when they were little. And that's the end. It's such a real heartwarming.
Real heartwarming.
I cried twice.
Yeah, we definitely got choked up a couple times.
Twice.
Because it's great because you have, obviously the ragtag bunch of kids who all have like their own special, issues, first of all, but then overcome all of them. So you have like the little kid who's like Butterfingers, can't ever hold anything. He has to imagine the football is a roll of toilet paper and that's the only way he can catch it. You have the little kid whose dad is never there, never comes to the games, and then the dad comes to the game at the end. You have the fat kid who just like eats a lot and farts. His character arc is not as good.
Right. He doesn't have a lot of great moments, I guess, on the field.
You have like the little Asian kid who's a kicker who like finally kicks it and then he just passes out because it's like the one kick he made, like a clean kick he made, even though it like hits the goalpost but like still goes in. So it's just a nice range of like all of and a great amount of diversity for this little Midwestern town. It's the most diverse I've ever seen.
There's so many black kids.
The only thing they were missing was a gay person.
Oh yeah,
guess that was not really thing.
Not time yet.
Those 90s movies.
Dumb. But yeah, I've always loved this movie, and I think obviously my friends and I liked any movie with Devon Sawa in it. Although I wasn't I never got sexually awakened by him, but I still thought he was cute.
That, on a t-shirt.
And maybe I just followed my friends.
I want a t-shirt that says "sexually awakened" by Devon Sawa, and an arrow pointing at my face.
Trademark. We have to sell those,
and I can put Devon Sawa's face on it.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
we're doing it.
Cute kid.
But I just loved it. I think it's really funny. I think it's a great message, heartwarming, and it's funny, but not in that cheesy, funny, kids movie way. Right. I think there's a lot of not adult, but more mature themed jokes.
Good one-liners too.
Yeah, a lot of good one-liners. I also loved the fact that Becky was a girl and was the star kind of football player. As a girl, that really spoke to me. I loved any movie where girls kicked butt. Yeah. So I loved that. And and I also, when I was watching it this time, realized that I also love the fact that the kids' parents are such an important part of this movie. And you see them all at the little ceremony where they get their little Giants jerseys. And that kind of makes you form this cute relationship with the kids and their parents so that you know who each parent is. And when something exciting happens on the field to their kid, they get excited. I don't know. There's just something about it that's nice,
Yeah, I love that. When I think it's the Butterfinger kid. Mm-hmm. He finally catches the ball on the dad, the look on the dad's face. And he's like, "That's my son!"
Yeah.
That awesome feeling must be to be a parent when you not that every kid is gonna be some champion. Junior's obviously a Tom Brady, if we're doing actual people. Obviously great natural talent, good at and that's not every kid. And I think really be hard for some parents to take. You think your kid can is always the best, right? But some kids just don't have the talent and they're not going to be the greatest football players. But with little peewee leagues like this or whatever, just to be able to go out and say you scored one touchdown, you know how exciting that is, and exciting as parents to see your kids succeed. I mean, I don't know, it just made me want to be a parent.
We don't even have kids yet, and we're so excited. I was I can't imagine that day. They're gonna open a door. I'm gonna be like, God, you did it.
I tied your shoe. So proud of you. Yeah, but I just think that pride must be pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And we didn't do sports really. Well, we did, but towards the end, it wasn't what we were the best at. And I think what they were most proud of us for. I think yours was drama, mine was ballet, and that must have been so exciting.
I don't know if you're remembering my basketball career, but they called me All the Way Andre, which means something very different now.
Oh God, that's awful.
You know what? I took that ball and I went every time to the right corner and got stuck and had a jump ball every time.
That's what he said.
Exactly.
You took that ball and you made it all the way.
Yeah. Yep. But we didn't even talk about who's in this movie. But so it stars our favorite dad, Rick Moranis, who reminds us of our dad, is why we like him so much.
Rick.
He's
Missed
like
you.
peak cute dad in
I
this
know,
movie.
he's kind of I was gonna say like toned down in this. Like he's not as wacky as he is.
He's not
in
like
other ones.
nerdy, and I mean he's nerdy, but not.
He was just so mild mannered.
Yeah.
You know, they made him. That's like what they made him out.
He was just like the ultimate like nice guy, like too adorable. I don't know. I just loved him. I loved him.
He's adorable, and he's still. I'm like, he looks so much like Dad.
I know.
He's the same nose. It's weird.
And also stars Ed O'Neill, who I had this weird attraction to when I was little, and also kind of now watching it again. I think it has to do with the combination of his tight shorts, his aviator sunglasses, and his like chewing gum habit. Which I'm wondering, like, does he have TMJ? Let's be honest. It's a lot of like sometimes when I chew gum, I get this horrible feeling in my jaw. It hurts so bad, so I can only imagine what his jaw is going through. But
Guess you're not gonna be able to give many blowjobs in your life.
That's
quick story,
very
inappropriate.
inappropriate.
But I had this friend in high school who like would refuse to give blowjobs. I think because she just didn't like to join the club. And the excuse she gave to boys was that she had TMJ.
Weird.
I know. Isn't that funny?
Wow.
Sorry,
Interesting.
inappropriate for
It's so
a
inappropriate.
movie
So
we're
inappropriate.
discussing about football.
Anyways, yeah, that's Susan in it, and then Devon Sawa, which you said, obviously.
Oh wait, I want to talk 1 second about Ed O'Neill.
Okay.
When you told me that, I was like, ew, sick, because like all I remember is him in either Married with Children or like the creepy guy in Wayne's World, the hockey who works at Makita's.
Oh, they're gonna say Modern
Makita's.
Family. Which is, like,
Yeah,
old
no.
and
Oh my
stuff.
God, Modern Family, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I was like, ew, sick, but I totally got it once he is like much more attractive than he ever is in this. And then I thought for 1 second, I like randomly confuse him sometimes with Craig T. Nelson.
Yeah, me too.
What is up with that?
Me too.
Is that a common thing? Do they look alike?
I mean,
No.
is it because Craig T.
Coach?
Nelson was in
Okay,
Coach
that's
and
it,
he's a
that's
coach in this? I don't know.
I don't know. I think they like look similar and have similar like mannerisms. Maybe.
Maybe.
know.
Yeah, but no, yeah, me too, definitely.
Yeah.
Me too. Me
We
too.
should play the game. I love the game.
What?
Craig T. Nelson or Ed O'Neill? Ready?
In-
Poltergeist.
In Poltergeist?
No,
Wait.
you have to say who is in it.
Oh, I thought I thought the game was if you'd rather have sex with Ed O'Neill
No,
or Craig
you
T. Nelson.
pervert.
And I was like, in this movie?
No, I'm going to name
Yes,
things.
Poltergeist, Craig T. Nelson.
True Beverly Hills.
Craig T. Nelson.
We already covered all the Ed O'Neill movies. Is he in anything else? Is he in Hoosiers?
Good game, though.
No. He's in not Butch. Fletch. Is he in Fletch?
Chevy Chase?
Shit.
I don't know. This is a dumb game. Let's play the Would You Rather game.
Okay.
In this movie, Ed O'Neill, but in any other case, I guess Craig T. Nelson.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Okay.
Okay.
Glad we settled that.
Whew, that was a tough one. Did you also say a mom in this is everyone's
No.
favorite 80s mom?
Nope.
Your favorite?
Mary Ellen Trainor, who passed away last year. Oh, wow.
Before that?
Oh, yeah. She's the mom in The Goonies, the mom in Monster Squad, and the mother of, the wife of Ed O'Neill's character in this. And she's great. She's like very outspoken and angry at the fact that he didn't pick Becky and is like, women can do it all. But she's also the cheerleading coach. So you're like,
Well, and I also want to give, I was very struck by that moment. So she's, lecturing him at the dinner table about why she didn't, they have 2 daughters. Mm-hmm. And lecturing Ed O'Neill about why, not that she should have picked her just based on the fact that she was the most talented. Didn't have to do with the fact that was their niece or whatever. But then she goes on this speech that women can do anything and women can be, all these, I don't know, she just drops a lot of different jobs. Women can, discover radium like Marie Curie, blah, blah, blah. And I wrote down that fucking girls can be anything speech. We're still having to have fucking now this year, during the fucking Hillary Clinton election whole bullshit. 20 plus years later, that should be we should be looking back and I'm moving like this and being like, God, remember we had to be lectured all the time about how girls could do anything because people didn't believe they could. We still have to have those speeches. It makes me very angry.
bullshit. It's bullshit.
And this movie is obviously very pro women can do everything because the central character is this girl who's really good at football. But it's just upsetting to me.
Yes, it is a very upsetting turn there. Kevin's a dick. Kevin O'Shea's a dick face, sexist jerkwad. So he's hot, but he
Sometimes
sucks.
he's nice. He was
Sometimes.
sweet to Becky in the diner, even though he was just like psychologically getting into her head.
Yeah. Well, she is still his niece, and he was nice when Spike like mauled down Junior and was like, "Your kid pulls anything like that again, you're both out."
Yeah, no, I think
I was
he
like,
like
yeah, that's
is a
right.
good guy, but he just is like so talented and like basically didn't have any no people in his life. You know, when like you're that talented and no, like you've never like lost anything or been deemed a loser, you just kind of turn into that sometimes. I think.
Yeah, totally. So I always like to ask, whose fault is it that that Becky leaves the team? Is it Ed O'Neill's fault, who gets it into her head that she has to be a pretty cheerleader if she wants Junior to like her?
Yes.
Is it Junior's fault for being a dick and being like, I don't want to kiss you, I'd rather kiss a cheerleader or whatever? Like, what is that about? Is it him? Or is it her dad's fault?
Yeah, sorry. I'm texting with my mother in Ireland. It's definitely not Rick Moranis' fault. I thought that speech was dumb. Like when she's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
like
that's all I am to you. You're a little full
yeah,"
bag.
and he was just like, "She's always loved football. She's just
Yeah.
like complete. I mean, that's
It's
what
not
kids
like-
do.
yeah.
You completely like turn
I-
on people
yeah.
who love you the most, and like,
I think it's Junior's fault.
it's not Junior's fault.
He could have had a little more tact.
He
to
really
not
liked
be
her.
like
He didn't like the cheerleader at all. I don't know who he was kidding.
he liked the cheerleader type though. That's what she was getting at. She was like, if you'd want to kiss someone, you'd want to kiss a
He
cheerleader.
thought that's what he liked because society has told him to like that. But he obviously loved Becky because they were flirting the whole time. He he was confused because he's like, "Oh, she's not my typical type, but I still like her." He was just confused.
I don't know. I think maybe later. If I was an adult in Becky's life, I would have been like, listen, girl, like a couple of years, Junior's going to realize that you're awesome and the one that he wants, and you'll get boobs, and then he'll like
Well,
you.
I was so sad because like that part in the car wash when she like, you know, she's flirting with Junior at the car wash and they're like throwing water at each other and it's like really cute. And then the fucking cheerleader bitch comes along and is like, and she's like tossing soap suds at him and he's like, toss the sponge at you. And Becky's like, even though Becky just did that with him, is looking on and being like, man, why don't boys like me? And I remember having those like exact same not like looking at pretty girls and being like, why aren't I pretty? But it was just that horrible feeling when you like just don't feel like guys like you as much as they like other girls who to you are like completely vapid. And you eventually grow out of that because those girls end up becoming like drug addicts or whatever.
Or get pregnant at
Yeah.
16 and like stick around. Yeah.
So I like you always just want to go back in time and tell your whatever 14, 13-year-old self like don't
Someday.
worry, you'll get there.
Someday you'll be hot and have boobs.
Well, and also like the boys that like you're not gonna like those boys eventually anyway. Like it's not worth it.
It's true. They peak early, those cute boys.
Yeah,
I'll
if they
tell
don't
ya.
like you, not worth it. Just gonna say.
Yeah.
He's just not that into you. Move on and find someone who is.
So what spoke to you? What do you want to talk about? What spoke to you most?
I mean, I didn't really take a ton of notes here. I wrote like a couple quotes down that I thought were like kind of funny. I don't know. I don't have.
Well,
a
I
lot.
liked that we talked about how we liked that when Becky rejoins the team in the second half, she keeps her cheerleading skirt on, which I thought was a cool hybrid because it's like, yes, you can still be pretty and like football and play football and like sports, which I do not, but a lot of people do, and that's fine. But it's all about taking those two halves of you and like not really paying attention to those gender roles and just kind of turning it on its head, and I appreciate that a lot.
And also, like, I want to like know like what happens to Becky because she's not going to be able to take this football career really to the next level. And I'm kind of surprised that even in a Pee-wee league that they would let a girl play. I know we're bitching about it and be like, why not? But like, I don't know if they even do. I don't
they
know.
did. They must
do
have.
they? And girls are just
Sure,
not
they would have looked
interested?
into that. There was a female football player in one of the schools on the Cape, I think, like in Barnstable or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I think girls could play football. Like if you could be like the ones that run really far with the ball and catch it, why can't they be that? And like those guys are really skinny a lot of times.
Yeah.
And like you have all that padding on, you could be like just like a really strong, muscular girl, and I think you could still like hack it out there. Sure. But
anybody
I mean,
can do
that's
it.
just how all sports are, and I do get it because there is like a biological differences between men and women and blah blah blah. But I remember like I don't know. I mean, I'm saying that I think we need like a women's football league because I certainly probably wouldn't watch it still because I think it's a dumb game. But I remember. Do you remember playing flag football in like middle school? Oh, you went to like.
Not really. Oh, sometimes, yeah.
That was like, really hard. It's not an easy game. I mean, I should give the
I
football players more credit.
I didn't know how to throw
Yeah,
football,
throwing a
so it was like
football is
pointless
tough.
for us.
Yeah.
Like no one knew how to throw a football back then. So I mean, who cares? Still don't. Whatever. But also, so Spike in this, who I already talked about, is like the gross, the bad kid in every movie in the 90s. He was in, well, mainly I just say this because he was the bad guy in Brink, the Disney original movie Brink.
Oh, okay.
Such a jackass. But he was also in Escape to Witch Mountain.
Whoa.
Which was he, is there a bad kid in that? I don't
I don't
remember that movie at all.
Old Escape to Witch Mountain. I don't know the new one you're talking about.
Oh, it's a new one?
Yeah.
Oh.
The old one's from like the 60s.
Was there a bad kid in it?
I don't know.
He had to have been bad. He's bad in everything.
He just looks like a bad kid.
Yeah, he's got that bad face.
At the end, he's like the first one to start clapping once they win.
And being like, come on, guys, clap.
Yeah,
And that was
so
weird. That
That
was
was turn of events.
uncharacteristic.
And his dad is like flipping out and crying. He's like, Dad, get over it.
Get a
Like,
grip.
Get a grip,
Yeah.
Dad.
One of
True sportsman. Spike. No last name.
unexpected. So one of the most frustrating parts of this for me is when Becky and Junior are watching that couple kiss in the rowboat, and they have this conversation that's like, do you ever think you want to like, I mean, you have to have, they're like watching them kiss and they're super grossed out, and they're kind of saying, well, do you ever think you'd want to like learn how to kiss so you can, you know, grow up and like have kids and get a job? And Devon Sawa's character is like, ugh, what? Like, you can have kids without kissing. And then Becky says, yeah, but you can't get a job. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Did they mess it up? Did they mean to say you can get a job without kissing? Yeah, but you can't have kids? Like, I just, that doesn't make, that line does not make any sense to me at all.
I think it was.
Why? How?
also their
What kind of
confusion as
job are they
children.
talking about? Like, where you have to kiss to get a job? Also, to have kids, you have to do a little more than kissing, guys. Hate to break it to you.
They're taking it so literal. She meant in the beginning because she equates kissing with being grown up, and having a job is also with being grown up and having kids. So they're like equating like stuff that means you're grown up, all in like one basket.
I guess. I just think it's the weirdest fucking
It's
line,
weird.
and it
And
like
it's supposed
still
to make
upsets
you
me to this
laugh.
day. Like, I still do not understand it, and like why they thought that. But yeah, that was just what I have to say about that.
Yeah, I wonder if that like what is the median age for first kisses? Because they were like 11. Do you think it was like that around that time?
I don't know.
I
Not
mean,
mine.
I was like 18, so
Me too. Well, I was like 17, yeah.
hey, I didn't know that. Hey,
Or 6.
high five.
Yeah, late bloomers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of kids kiss like on the playground and shit, and I just never. Or at Rock Night, we had this thing called Rock Night. It was like an ice rink. Super dumb. You like snowballed with somebody, you like linked arms and like skated around, but I didn't know how to skate, and neither did you. So
I remember people like making out in like middle school.
at Rock Night,
No, like I remember like this. My friends like Sarah had this boyfriend named Carl. He looked like a little pig. We read Lord of the Flies, looked like Piggy from Lord of the Flies, and she like took him into the multi-purpose room. Remember that at the charter school?
yes.
And like they like kissed for like a while or something in the multi-purpose.
How do you know?
room.
Maybe they just lied and said they did.
Yeah, maybe. But like people were like, so many people were coupled up when I was in middle school, 8th grade.
Yeah, but did they really?
And like, what were they doing? I don't
know.
I don't
Just
know.
like
I don't
holding
know.
hands and being like,
I was man, I was like dried up. I had to wait another like 5 years for that. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I remember like in 9th grade that you like write a letter to yourself in English class to open when you're a senior,
Yes.
and you're like, oh, like I hope this and this happened. And like my number one thing was like, you've better have had a boyfriend by now. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, you
Open
didn't.
it. Well, I kind of did. In senior year, I had
I thought you just had your.
no. Well, no, like long-term relationship, yes. But in senior year, I dated TK, and we went to prom together. And we like, I wouldn't say boyfriend, but as close as I came.
Okay,
So
you
yeah.
did it.
But I didn't. But I didn't like count that, and I was still pretty sad though. And I was like, God damn it! The one thing I had to do in 4 years, and I didn't accomplish it.
Oh, it's all right. It's not what it's all about. You can still get a job without having kissed someone. Don't worry.
I got a
Guys.
job.
My other favorite part of this is the two old man. You called them the two old man schemers, I believe. So one of them is on kind of Danny's side, and one of them is on Kevin's side, and they're very funny. They're just like, oh, always like, what is that called? They remind me of like the Muppet old men, like in the Muppet Show, like always have something to say, like some side commentary, like hanging out on porches and rocking chairs. I just love them. Yeah. They're one of my favorite parts of this. Cute. I love it. Anything else you would like to add? I feel like I'm talking a lot. I'm sorry.
No, you had the big list. I just didn't like take a lot of notes. I was too busy Googling stuff.
So there's this part with side plot with Tommy's dad who's on business trips all the time. And it just reminded me, like, fucking business dads. Like, does that still happen today? I feel like people are so, like, gotta be with my family. Yeah. And also, moms are businesswomen, too. So it's, I mean, I haven't heard of a shitty business dad in a while. And I was just wondering if they still exist.
Yeah. Is that, like, a 90s trope?
Still a thing? Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. But that must have been so sad. I mean, he just seemed, like, beaten down by the fact his dad was never around. It was very sad.
Poor Johnny.
But he comes to the game at the end.
That's the second
and they give him the ball.
First time. Like, second time I cried. Third. Wait, did I cry 3 times?
Oh, my God.
Shit. But yeah, his dad, Johnny gets the ball, and they're like, run to him. And he sees his dad in the end zone, and like he's like, Dad, and runs, and is still holding the football. I'm surprised that he held on to the football and was able to do these kind of darting like moves and like faking him out. I think he would have just, if this was real life, he would have just like dropped that football and fucking ran. So, I mean, whatever.
Maybe
make
he
of
made
that
it
what
big.
you will.
Maybe he made it to the pros.
Oh, Johnny. Do you have some Sweetie alums?
Yeah.
Sweetie Club
we had
alums?
a couple on this one. It's a good one. So Rick Moranis in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Devon Sawa from Casper. Mom from Monster Squad. Mm-hmm. And this was the one that we didn't know about until we watched this. Francis from Pee-wee's Big Adventure was the dad of the fat kid. So
typecast.
Poor Francis, like always kind of playing a fat guy, but good at heart. Yeah. Really sweet.
Yep.
Is that it? I think.
I guess.
Yeah, but that's a pretty good one. That might be like one of our biggest.
Big cast of characters coming back.
90s movies. Kind of all have the same 5 people in them.
Yeah. But yeah. Yes. Second half, total waterworks. There's just like moment after moment of things that are just like the music just like swells and uplifts you to your euphoria.
And I like exciting game stuff like that.
You do.
Like I said, well, it's like, we don't like sports, but sports movies can be like so exciting.
Yeah, they really mess with you.
The game time stuff. Ugh. Like my favorite sport movie is Miracle, the hockey movie, because it has like that kind of historical real life situation to it. Because that's like was an amazing thing that happened. And that was also sort of like a ragtag team. Was it a
miracle?
Yes. Well, it comes from that guy who was like, it's a miracle when they win because they win against the Soviets, like the whole thing. So there's like the Cold War thing. Have you ever seen that movie? Oh, Kurt Russell?
What made you think the Soviets were involved? Pee-wee quote.
But yeah, so I just love that sort of impossible odds like kind of thing. And it's like so good.
I mean, the good thing about sports movies is that the good guys almost always win, except in Cool Runnings when they fucking crash before the finish line and they have to carry their bobsled over the finish line. Yes. Like too much for me. God.
No, but wasn't it? Oh, I was like, didn't they cheat? But no, that's like the John Candy character had cheated. That's why he got kicked out.
Of what?
Oh my God, you know the pop Cool Runnings at all?
I only remember when they crash at the end. He got kicked out of the Olympics?
John Candy.
Oh, when he was young, when he was on the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
They waited
that was
sled.
Like in his past.
Yeah. And so like he could never go again. But it's like John Candy was a bobsledder, like hard to believe.
Yeah. Could he fit in that?
I don't know. That movie is bullshit.
Fat shaming. But yeah, sports movies. Yeah, I just remember watching the Mighty Ducks and like they freak me the fuck out. Yeah. I get so fucking nervous during sports movies that I can't.
I gotta rewatch the Mighty Ducks because I like.
We watched it recently.
Did we?
Yeah. Like
okay. Well, we were gonna
on
watch
a weekend.
It for the podcast,
we were like blah blah blah.
Like I don't remember that one that well. Oh, well, it's like similar to this, like ragtag. Like no one is that good, but they come together and like
they drive a limo on the ice. It's very scary.
Basically, it's the Little Giants of.
But hockey. It's just so stressful, and even maybe that might be a part of why I don't like watching sports because it's too nerve wracking. Like I just it's like watching the Olympics. The one time I care about sports is when the Olympics are on, and I get so nervous watching the Olympics. I'm just like,
other kids' sports movies. So Mighty Ducks, Little
Rookie
Giants,
of the Year,
Angels
in the Outfield.
Wait, is who's the Angels in the Outfield kid? Is it Joseph Gordon? No.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Christopher Lloyd's an angel.
Yes. Is there a basketball one? I think that's the one I'm like
Air Bud?
missing. Ugh, no. That doesn't count. He's a dog.
Teen Wolf.
That's a good one. We should watch that one.
Baseball, football,
Baseball,
soccer. Bend It Like Beckham. No. Ladybugs.
We do Ladybugs.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, me neither.
I haven't seen a lot of things. Bad News Bears. I've never seen either.
Yep, I've done that. I feel like there's more, but I'm just not like
There's
thinking
so
of
many.
it. Yeah. Yeah, we'll cover them all. We're getting all the hits.
And then there's some of the offshoot like sports ones, like the Cutting Edge,
Ooh.
stuff like that.
Hey, that's
so,
a sport.
Yeah, I know, but it's not like us. Look, guys are like, oh, figure skating is not a sport.
Yeah, and I want more like lady ones.
It's sexist.
What?
Sexist piece of crap.
they're the minority. I have like a sweet little anecdote. I was
Tell us your
gonna
sweet
you.
little anecdote.
So I was going to sleep last night, and I was like remembering or trying to think of like a great anecdote that I could bring to this podcast for today. Knowing what the plot of this is, and about like a girl who was doing boy things and was like confused about it because like should she be a girl or whatever. So in our family we had 3 girls and my dad, and we had like always girl pets, and my dad was like the only guy like in the whole family ever. Mm-hmm. And one time I remember as a kid I tried to be like really good about doing things, like maybe my dad, like I had somehow thought my dad had like missed out and like wanted to have a son, and that seemed like sad that we were girls and stuff. So I remember like going fishing with him and trying to do things that weren't necessarily like girly, so he like wouldn't miss out on like because he had daughters. Mm-hmm. But I asked him one time, I'm like, Dad, do you like ever wish like that you had a son, not in like place of us, but like, you know, yeah, I want to trade Andre in for a boy.
What? Hey.
No. And then he's like, no, it's like, why would I feel like that? Like girls can do everything boys can do. Boom. Thanks, Dad.
Same message in the movie.
I know. And it just made me think of this.
Oh, that's great.
Isn't that nice?
See,
and so it's
he
like,
is Rick Moranis.
yeah, like, I mean, it's so true. Like, you know, my dad didn't need us to like play football and stuff. He's like, well, I like love doing you guys are so much fun, and like we can all do the same stuff I would have done with a son. So
It's true.
I know.
We were the best.
Yeah.
Still are. Still the best. We're still the best.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else you'd like to add?
No.
Did you read any trivia?
I read one about how they developed this. So Steven Spielberg saw
Him
like,
again?
Well, he's like slightly involved in this. A Super Bowl commercial about like a Pee-wee football team, and it was like a McDonald's commercial from the 1990s Super Bowl, and he like called up some screenwriter and was like kind of pitched an idea to him, being like, there's this Pee-wee football team and blah blah blah, so like the loose storyline, and so called his writer friend, and his friend started writing the script, which became The Little Giants. And then also I read that play that they do, I think it's the one where they like
The
hide
Annexation
the
of
ball.
Puerto Rico?
No. Wait, was that the play?
The Annexation of Puerto Rico?
When they hid the ball? The fake ball one? Where she like pretended to have the ball and ran around, and he just like held the ball and stood in the middle of the field. That was like a real play that teams used after this movie came out, and they called it The Little Giant.
Oh my God.
Pretty cool.
That's great. Yeah. I love the Annexation of Puerto Rico.
I
I
know,
love the
that
play
name.
names. Chicken Little Flea Flicker on 2.
I love the names of football like plays in general, and I'm always so stumped about like how that works. How you like? I mean, basically, it's just like choreography, football plays.
Oh,
you know?
yeah. I don't like X's and the O's.
I don't get the XSO
like,
thing
what?
and all like and like how people remember that and like
Yeah.
crazy.
It's a little complicated.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
No thanks.
No thanks, sports.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is just a little. Are we calling this a bonus?
Yeah, I think it should be a bonus app.
Super Bowl bonus episode.
Woo.
So yeah, thanks for listening. Yeah, just leave us a
keep on listening.
Leave us a review on iTunes if you could.
Yeah.
Also follow us on Twitter at the Sweetie Club and on Instagram at Large Marge. Send us. Yeah, we love you. Thanks for
Love
listening.
you so much. Happy Super Bowl.
Ugh.
Go Pats. Bye.
Bye.